Jaisalmer, Rajasthan Part 4. Jaisalmer is in the western India state of Rajasthan. It is the heart of the Thar desert. It is known as the Golden City. It is distinguished by the yellow sandstone architecture. We can visit the Jaisalmer Fort on a hilltop. Behind the fort, we can visit the ornate Maharaja's palace and the Jain temple. It is located 575 kilometers west of the state capital, Jaipur. Jaisalmer acts also as the guard to the western Rajasthan frontiers. This golden city is located close to the Pakistan border and in close proximity to the Thar Desert. The city's most prominent landmark is the Jaisalmer Fort and also called Sonar Killa or Golden Fort. Unlike most other forts in India, Jaisalmer Fort is not just a tourist attraction. It houses shops, hotels and ancient Havelis, homes where generations continue to live. It was in 1156 that Raval Jaisal constructed a mud fort named it Jaisalmer after himself and declared it his capital. Jaisalmer remains hot all throughout the year. December, January are the best season to visit Jaisalmer. The important places to visit in Jaisalmer are as follows. Jaisalmer Fort also goes by the name Sonar Killa Golden Fort as it rises from the desert itself and seems to be one with the golden hues of the sand. The fort is constructed in the classical style of the royals by local craftsmen. This fort is a World Heritage Site built by Raval Jaiswal. This fort has a history as old as 800 years. This fort contains a royal palace and several Jain temples. Then the Jaisalmer Government Museum, established by the Department of Archaeology and Museums. The most striking display is the trophy of the Rajasthan state bird Godawan. The traditional household items, rock art, crockery, jewelry, and statues from the 7th and 19th century and displayed here and are the remnants of the city's rich cultural heritage. Then comes the Nath Ki Haveli or mansions. It's built by two architect brothers in 19th century. They worked on the Haveli from two sides and the outcome is a beautiful blend of this symmetrical construction. Miniature style paintings and mighty tuskers carved out of yellow sandstone are used for decoration. Then comes the Salim Singh Ki Haveli, was built in the first half of the 18th century and part of it is still occupied by descendants of the original residents. The high arched roof is supported by carved brackets designed in the shape of the peacocks. Then Patron Kihawali is the largest and the most elaborately carved Haveli in Jaisalmer. The 5-story structure sits proudly in a narrow street, entry fee ₹50. Mandir Palace, the 5-storied majesty of the Badh Mahal Cloud Palace is the further enhanced by its pagoda-like Tasya Tower. Each floor of the palace has an intricate carved balcony. Then comes the Jain temples of Jaisalmer is located inside the Jaisalmer Fort, date back to the 12th and 15th centuries. The temples are dedicated to the Rukab Devji and Shambhav Devji, famous Jain hermits known as the Tirthankaras. Like all other structures in Jaisalmer, the temples are carved out of yellow sandstone. They have been built in the famed Dilwara style, which is known for its beautiful architecture. Then the Gadisar Lake was constructed in the 14th century by Maharaval Gadsi Singh to meet the water needs of his lands. Considering its importance, many small temples and shrines were constructed around it, transforming it into a pilgrimage center and tourist architecture. Then comes the BADA BAGH. About 6 kilometers to the north of Jaisalmer lies BADA BAGH, also called Bhara BAGH or Big Garden. The garden complex houses CHATRI or royal cenotaphs of the Maharajas of the Jaisalmer state, including that of the Jai Singh too. The location of the garden is such that it offers wonderful sunset visits to a tourist. Desert National Park is then comes the desert is the vast Indian desert, covers 2 lakhs kilometers and is the 17th largest desert in the world. The sand reflects why Jaisalmer is genuinely known as the Yellow City of India. The nights are chilly and the days are so hot. So desert camp Dion Bass basing, parasailing, camel rides, jeep safari are some of the desert things to do here. A beautiful view of sunrise and sunset is a memorial one. Then the Desert National Park displays the best of the Thar Desert's ecosystem and its varied wildlife. The park is formed as undulating sand dunes, jagged rocks, dense salts, lake bottoms, and inner medial areas. Various species animals such as black buck, chingara, and desert fox inhabit the park. The world's heaviest flying birds, Indian bustard, can be seen here. We can see Himalayan and Eurasian griffon, vultures, eastern imperial eagles, and the Saker Falcon. Then we can visit KULDHARA village, TANOT Mada temple, Ramdev temple, LAKSHMI NATH temple, Jaisalmer museum, Jaguar WAR.MUSEUM, AKAL wood fossil park, VYAS, CHATRI, AMER, SINGH lake. Extra tourist destination the Jaisalmer. Visit Sardar Bazaar, Sona Ka Bazaar, Simagram and Bhatia Bazaar are some of the famous markers. Desert Festival, the Jaisalmer Desert Festival is an event organized by the Rajasthan Tourism Development Corporation each February of the year. It is celebrated in the Thar Desert, and the locals dress in traditional and cultural dress. There is a lot of singing and dancing, gymnastics, camel races, jeep race, tug of war, turban tying, and a march from the fort to the desert. You can experience desert camps in Jaisalmer. The camp is 40 km from Jaisalmer city. The closest location in the camp is the KULDHARA village. The desert is the vast Indian desert. Along the border, the famous LANGWALA post and the famous TANOT Mada temple are very important tourist spots. It is territorial region in the country located in the west and southwest Pakistan border. The length of the international border attached to Jaisalmer district is 464 kilometers. Jaisalmer is connected by airport Jodhpur, which is 248 kilometers away. Jaisalmer is connected to the Jodhpur, Bikaner and Jaipur by buses and taxi. Jaisalmer railway station train connects to Delhi by few trains. The